Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler Talk. Owning a home is like owning a piece of your nation. It's a strategy that's worked for Singapore and other countries around the world. Although our social safety net remains challenged in the Philippines, one group is in charge of helping Filipinos own their dream homes. That is the goal of Pag-IBIG, and right now joining us is Attorney Darlene Berberabe. Her nickname is Lelen. She's the Pag-IBIG Fund CEO. Thank you for joining us, Lelen.
Thank you for having me, Maria. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you again. It is the 34th year of Pag-IBIG.
Yes, we're celebrating our 34th anniversary this December. We launched the anniversary yesterday with a specific program for our senior citizen members. We call it the PagIBIG Savings 65. So what most people don't know is that Pag-IBIG has two mandates. So number one is to be the savings program of the government. So that's the reason why we are collecting the 100 peso contribution from the employee and 100 peso counterpart from the employer every month. And so those the money is the savings of every member. Savings meaning they can withdraw it at the end of the membership period. So yesterday we launched the PagIBIG Savings 65. We're actually reaching out to our 65ers. So the members who may have forgotten about their money with Pag-IBIG Fund, so because it's a small amount, now we're asking them to please get your checks. So yesterday we invited the 50 representatives from the 65ers. And then we release the checks to them. The second mandate, so we're the savings program, the second mandate is to invest the money that we collect in housing. And how do we invest that in housing? By way of housing loans.
Okay. If you're a 20-something, our median age in the Philippines is 23 years old, what's the incentive to join Pag-IBIG?
Okay. Well, number one, there's a law, there's a charter it's Republic Act 9679, and for every Filipino worker who earns at least 1,000 pesos, they must be covered by Pag-IBIG Fund. So it's really forced saving. So the government is forcing the Filipino worker, while you are able to work, just set aside 100 pesos. That's the mandatory contribution. But you are free to upgrade your contributions so that at the end of the membership period, or when you're 60 or when you're 65, then you have a bit of money set aside for your retirement. So it's different from pension, so which is the job of SSS and GSIS. So during the time that you are a member of Pag-IBIG Fund, so aside from savings, you may also avail of the other benefits. So you can avail of a housing loan. We also have different loan programs such as the short-term loans. Our short-term loans consist of either the multi-purpose loan, so what an unsexy name. I'm sorry for the name multi-purpose loan, but that just means that we don't ask for what purpose is the loan. So either it could be for grocery or tuition fee or vacation, multi-purpose loan, and then calamity loan. The calamity loan product is also very popular. So when an LGU or a local government unit is declared under state of calamity, the residents of that LGU may avail of the calamity loan if they are members of Pag-IBIG Fund. So that's the incentive. So your savings, when you put in 100 pesos, it's already doubled at that point because there's an employer counterpart of 100. Plus, your money will earn because we declare dividends every year. So just like last year, we declared a dividend rate of 4%, which is so much higher than the bank's interest rate. Number two, the dividends are tax-free. So unlike the interest in the banks, meron pang 20% withholding tax. Number three, it's government guaranteed. So it's not like also the money that's put in private institutions where there's a cap of up to 500,000. For Pag-IBIG Fund, there's a sovereign guarantee that every peso that you put in, then the government guarantees its return.
So some of the loans that you have now, I mean, some people are saying that the banks, because their interest rates are so low, are giving Pag-IBIG competition.
Yes.
Explain this to us.
Okay. The government, Pag-IBIG Fund is actually a social security agency, so we have a social mandate. So we don't really see it as competition because we serve the market that is mostly rejected by the banks. So for example, if the gross salary of a member is 50,000 or below, most likely they will go to Pag-IBIG fund and not to the banks. Now, but of course, there's also a market that we share with the private banks. So we're very happy to quote unquote compete with the banks because, for example, when we had the interest rate of 6.9% and it came from an 11.5%. So in 2011, we reduced it to 6.9% because we shifted our the way that we impose interest rates from cross-subsidy principle to a market-based formula or risk-based formula. So we were able to reduce it to 6.9%. The private banks all followed and they reduced also. So they're
shadowing
the interest rate. So it's a win for the people. So
if I needed to get a housing loan, where would I get a better deal?
Okay. The private banks have a common interest rate. So you'd see 6.5% or sometimes if you're a valued client, even 5%. But that's a common rate. That means that after the first year, they will go to a market rate. So which is usually like 7.5% or 8%. So it is a decision that we've made that we don't have a common rate.
Right.
So the years of repricing could be either 3 years or 5 years. 10 years, or if you want a guaranteed interest rate, you can also opt for a 30-year period, but that means that it's a higher interest rate. So we don't have a come-on, but we have different repricing period. Now, one difference and one positive for Pag-IBIG Fund versus the banks is that the loan-to-value ratio. So that means that when you look at the collateral and the appraised value, for example, is 1 million, based on the Bangko Sentral regulations, the loan to value is 60%. So that's what is encouraged for the private bank. So that means if the appraised value is 1 million, the banks will lend you 600,000 only.
Right.
For Pag-IBIG Fund, for 1 million, we can lend you 900,000 or 90% of the loan to value. So that means less equity for the borrower. So that's better. Now, also for the formula that we're using, so we're using the same risk-based formula as the banks are doing. The banks also are, because they are regulated by the central bank, they have a cap of 20% issued to real estate loans. So that means that by June or by mid-year of any year, when the banks have already lent up to that cap, then we anticipate that the rest of the developers or the other end users would go to Pag-IBIG Fund for that because of such regulation by the central bank. So there's really some positive to borrow from Pag-IBIG Fund rather than the bank. But if for the maximum loanable amount also in Pag-IBIG Fund is 6 million. So if the value of the condo or the house that you are buying is higher, then you can go to the private banks
for it.
Because the reason why there's also a cap for us is that the monthly contribution is just 100 pesos. So in fact, for a borrower, we will ask them to upgrade their contributions so that they would add to the Pag-IBIG Fund.
Fantastic. Now, you're on your 34th year. What would you consider your successes, and what kinds of challenges do you see ahead of you?
Okay. What are our achievements in the last 4 years? We've doubled the maximum loanable amount from 3 million to 6 million.
Yeah.
Number 2, we've reduced the interest rate from 11.5% to 6.9%. Number 3, we have a socialized subsidized package for the minimum wage earners. So if our regular rate is 6.9%, for the minimum wage earners, it's 4.5%. So it is Pag-IBIG Fund that subsidizes it.
Yeah.
For our calamity loan, the interest rate used to be at 10.5%. Now it's down to 5.95%, which is the lowest in the market. And what I'm proud of also is that now in 2014 we're achieving the same accomplishment in terms of disbursements in 2009, which was the highest disbursement for Pag-IBIG Fund, but that was also the year of the Globe Asiatic.
Yes.
Okay, so but now we achieved the same amount, but with much better portfolio. In 2013, we have also shown the unprecedented reversal in the skid of the status of our loans.
Great.
Every year, 2% skid to non-performing loans. But in 2013, we were able to score a positive score, reverse it from 76, now it's up to 78, and then now 79. Our performing loans ratio now is 85% net of impairment losses. So why is that important for the Pag-IBIG Fund? That means that our target is not just disburse and lend it, but we are also
replenish.
making sure that the fund will be there after 34 years, after 50 years, after 100 years, after our terms. So it's so easy to lend.
Yeah.
So if you'll just be loose in your underwriting guidelines, then it's so easy to disburse loans. But we're protecting the integrity and all those benefits. Why are these achievements remarkable? All these accomplishments we've done without increasing the 100 pesos monthly contribution.
So how did you do this? You increased it almost 10% in terms of getting more people paying into the...
Okay. In 2010, we already had a board-approved resolution to increase the monthly contribution from 100 to 200 pesos. That's the easiest way to increase a fund.
Right.
So increase the contribution. Okay. However, our board said, no, don't increase. So we said, what will we do? Now, our strategy is, how do we increase the fund? We increase the membership base. So back in 2010, we were just 8 million members. Now we're 14.6 million members. So more people are now contributing to the fund. Number two, we also admitted to ourselves that we are not good at collection. So what did we do? We outsourced it.
Oh.
So we looked at how the private banks and credit card companies are doing. We learned that the central bank is accrediting collection companies. So we use the accredited collection companies, and I'm pleased to share with the members of Pag-IBIG Fund, we were able to cure up to 50%. Well, the exact is 47% of our non-performing loans were converted to performing loans. So that means patay na, hindi na siya nagbabayad. We were able to revive such loans, and we were able to collect almost 6 billion pesos and added that to the funds that we lend out to our members. So this, I think, the outsourcing of collection function, so that's really, you have to admit, if that's not your core competency, give it up, outsource it to the private sector. And number two, much better underwriting. So because, you know, when you're a lender and you part with your money, you have to make sure that your approval guidelines, your evaluation have integrity.
Fantastic. What about once you have this fund? How are you investing it, and how transparent are you to your members?
Our charter also dictates how we invest it. So our total assets are now 360 billion pesos. Last year, we were able to collect 26 billion pesos in savings. That means the contributions.
Yes.
Last year, we also saw an increase in voluntary savings of 3.5 billion pesos. Why is the voluntary savings very important for Pag-IBIG Fund? Because that means that our members, and we want to interpret it this way, that our members trust Pag-IBIG Fund so much that they don't need to be compelled, and they voluntarily upgrade their savings, and they're happy with the 4% dividend. That's not guaranteed, but they're happy with the track record in the past 5 years, which dividend rate has been between 4% to 5%. Now, how are we making sure that it is transparent? The national government has actually encouraged, or they mandate the agencies, the government financial institutions, to be compliant with the international financial reporting standards. And I'm happy to share that we are IFRS compliant. The Commission on Audit has in fact also issued a certification or a statement that we have been compliant with the IFRS. So that means that our financial position, our financial performance, and our cash flows have integrity, and the standards are global, so that you don't limit yourself to just the Philippines, and your financial position and statements are comparable to other entities. So we're compliant with that. Number two, we're also very vocal about being anti-corruption. So in 2012, I signed on behalf of the organization the Integrity Pledge, which is an initiative by the private sector, by the Makati Business Club, and I said I want to sign a document which will bind the whole organization, so that the next CEO also will have a hard time to undo my signature there. And in the 2 days ago, we also repeated the signature, and we confirmed our signature to that I pledge, because I want to publicize this so that it will be easy also for our members to complain against erring employees of Pag-IBIG Fund, because for us it is so important that we have the trust of our members, because we are managing their funds for them. So if they don't trust us anymore, then we don't have any authority or right to be here in the management of Pag-IBIG Fund.
We're also part of that integrity pledge,
Oh,
Rappler.
oh, yes.
Yeah, that's a fantastic thing. How are you going to make sure that this remains institutionalized after your time?
Okay, and so that's why I'm always publicizing it. 2012, confirmed in 2014, and it's in our website. So I want everyone to know that we are very serious in this, because under the Pinoy administration, where tuwid na daan is really of utmost importance, and in Pag-IBIG Fund, we saw that it is really of paramount importance for us to support the administration in that. But not only that, so we want to observe good governance and have integrity, but we also want to perform excellently. So I know that honesty is the first value that is aspired for in a public servant, but in Pag-IBIG, we want both excellent performance and integrity. And I've always told the organization that what does integrity mean for us? It's really doing the right thing when no one is looking. So all the reforms also that we've implemented, I made sure that they are circularized, that it's just not dependent on me and my senior management. So there are programs. That means that the next board will have to undo such programs, and we usually also do the rounds of reporting to our stakeholders, the private developers, our members. So we put it in our website, in our Facebook page, so that people will object if they see that some program has been removed or revised later on.
Greater transparency. So you were the chief legal counsel of PNG before taking this job. That shift from the private sector to the public sector, it's been 4 years? Lessons learned. What lessons have you learned? What surprised you?
Okay. In 2010, I was supposed to be sent to Singapore as an expat. So, pagkakataon ko na yumaman sana. And then, I rejected it initially, in fact, because they were rushing me into a decision. And then, when the vice president said that you're from UP, why are you going to Singapore? And well, number two, you don't even know if the president will appoint you. What makes you assume that the president will appoint you? And then I said, okay, Mr. Vice President, you can submit my CV, but the weekend after, the president has appointed you. So all of us were surprised. And I've celebrated my 4th anniversary. I'm still alive. Thank you.
Well, it sounds like you're more than alive.
And what's good about someone who did not seek for a position in government is that from day one, in November of 2010, I was always mindful of every day that is given to me which is an opportunity and a privilege to serve the government. And I said, I'm not going to waste any time here in government. So if I am fired after a month, after 2 months, those 2 months will be something that I will be proud about. Previously, it's so easy to complain against government, but when I joined government, I saw how if you're impatient, if you can't wait, because there's so many processes that have been put in place to curb corruption, but sometimes such processes are also the source of corruption. But here in government, I said that, okay, my mantra here is that I have to make things happen. So it's different when you have a vision. No? Many people have a lot of vision, but you have to keep in mind that my time here is limited. I have to make things happen, and when I say make things happen, then I have to move my organization towards a goal. I have to set it clearly, and I have to take the steps. So even if it is unpopular, and I would like to believe that we've made a lot of strides and really reforms in the last 4 years, and I'm very thankful and grateful for the board and for our chairman that they have allowed such reforms to happen. So it's a lot of headache. Many times I also think that sometimes it's thankless, because when your client is the public, it's so easy to complain. So
particularly now in the age of social media.
Yes, so like in a tweet said, Vice President, Chairman of Pag-IBIG Fund, can you investigate Pag-IBIG Cebu because someone the floor there is wet and someone had an accident. And then I said, there's anomaly in Pag-IBIG Cebu. And so I called my Vice President, what's happening in Pag-IBIG Cebu? Why is the floor wet? Ma'am, it's raining. So okay, and then so can I tweet it back that please don't be easy on your complaint. So, but still in all, if there's someone who praises and who tells me that I'm doing a good job, that's so much reward for me as well. So you just have to take it in and consider it as feedback, and then always just try to do.
But why
the
do
best.
this when it has so many challenges built into it? Why do this versus the path you've already were on in the private sector?
Okay, many times I also think about that, because if you want a secure life, if you want security of tenure, first, I don't have security of tenure.
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
employees are more lucky than I am, because they have security of tenure. It's so hard to fire them. But the fulfillment also is 10 times more than the private sector. The challenge is more. So when you are able to hurdle the challenges, so the fulfillment is also so much more. Number 2, because I know that I'm honest, kokonti lang akong kumain, Maria. And so I said that the government can maximize that. I know my values. I work hard. When I joined Pag-IBIG Fund, I was a lawyer. I didn't know anything about housing. I didn't know anything about housing finance. But I work hard. I ask many questions. I am okay to study. I'm honest. I don't steal. I always try to do the right thing. So I thought that if I'm given, if I'm trusted by the president and the vice president to do something, then I will do it well. And it gives me comfort. Like if another person who does not share the same values would be in the same position, then kawawa naman yung Pag-IBIG Fund, because Pag-IBIG Fund really has a lot of money. Every year we lend around 100 billion pesos. And if there's commission that will be pocketed in like 30% of 100 billion, I don't even know how much money that is that will be put to waste. So sayang naman. So in my head, so in this small place that I'm in, it gives me so much fulfillment that I can do the right thing here, and I can make things happen, and I can be a positive force in this little space. So at least I'm doing my share. I'm not complaining, and I'm contributing my small contribution for nation building.
I will ask you one last work in terms of the time period that you've been there. Calamities.
Okay.
You've done a lot of work there, and I think the last time we saw each other, you were headed to Tacloban.
Yes.
We were on the flight to Tacloban. So, what can Pag-IBIG do? What has it done?
Okay, we are able to assist our members in two ways, in terms of housing and calamity loan. Like in the year 2009, when there was Ondoy, Pag-IBIG Fund disbursed 12 billion pesos. In 2012, Sendong, we were able to disburse also around 9 billion pesos. So it's not the whole solution, but it helps our members reduce the impact of the calamity. In Yolanda, in the Visayas and South Luzon, we were able to disburse 1 billion pesos for calamity loans. And then we also implemented housing loan moratorium for Yolanda affected areas. And we, in fact, imposed special rates, so 4% and 4.5% for those Yolanda affected areas. And then another agency, which is the National Housing Authority under the HUDC, is the producer or the builder of the houses. So we have special programs for local government units that are declared under state of calamity.
In terms of, we've talked about your successes. What about the challenges? Where have you faltered? Where has Pag-IBIG faltered? I mean, Globe Asiatic during that time period,
okay,
obviously,
yes.
right?
So that's really a black eye in the history of Pag-IBIG Fund, because that also unsettled a lot of our members. Before I joined Pag-IBIG, I asked, in fact, the previous CEO of Pag-IBIG, Congressman Miro Kimbo. He said, that's the best job in the world. And I said, oh, okay, good. Then I'm going to have the best job in the world. And then a week after I assumed office, I was in the Senate for investigation because of that Globe Asiatic case.
Yes.
And then I lost 6 pounds. And so that's the easiest way to lose weight. So if your viewers want to lose weight, I'll have them investigated by the Senate. So in 2011 was very hard for Pag-IBIG Fund. The takeout was almost 50 billion. In 2011, it plunged into around, I think, 38 billion. Really tough for the housing industry then, because the developers have already planned their housing projects. So it's not, when you change rules, it will affect like in the next 2 years or 3 years. And we had to go back to basics as the lender. So everything compared to the program that was existent in that Globe Asiatic time will be so much slower and so much stricter. So everyone was complaining against Pag-IBIG Fund. But I thought that this is the right thing to do so that we can protect the fund and it will be sustainable. So we had to implement all those reforms, and it's like changing the rules midway for them. And that's why the impact that I shared with you before was significantly felt only in the latter part of 2012 and 2013, and especially this year. So, and when you're talking about the portfolio, which dates back to 1990s, and I'm looking at my performing loans ratio, and I have to contend with all those accounts since before, it's really so hard. So that's why I have, in fact, two reports. One, how am I managing the loans that were taken out since 1990s, and how are the loans that have been taken out since 2011 when we changed the program. But I have to contend with the whole portfolio, and that's a very, very big challenge for us to move the portfolio into better performing loans ratio so that we could make sure that the fund is sustained.
Got it. Could a Globe Asiatic happen again?
No. Okay, no under our programs now, because at that time there was a special program that was meant for that wasn't applicable to all the developers. So now we're very conscious of that. When we have a rule or a program, it must be open to all the developers with the same qualifications. So if a developer is similarly situated, then we have to apply the same rule. the key features of the program of that was in existence in the Globe Asiatic time, we immediately removed that from our housing loan program, which is the authority to approve the loans was given to the developer. But because it is really their principal interest to take out the loans, so there was a basic conflict of interest. So we removed that. The number 2 is the buyback guarantee. The buyback guarantee, there was, if Pag-IBIG trusted a developer, then you'd have that privilege of a buyback guarantee, meaning you can buy it back if the first borrower defaults. Eventually, we learned that it could be used as a cash flow strategy. So we removed the 2 features. And that's why I said we just went back to basics. I'm the lender. I will be the one to approve the loan. I will be the one to evaluate it and do the underwriting. And so even when they were complaining, you're very slow now, you're very strict, I said, well, that's just the proper thing to do. So I cannot just delegate it. And I removed also the buyback guarantee.
Fantastic. So we have a lot of questions from social media, a lot of them very specific though. So things like, this is from at Paulo Domingo, what's the process in claiming MP2? How long will it take? Another one from at Mike Piga, can an OFW avail a housing loan program? Another one from Jael Cornelio from Ateneo. Hi, Jael. He's asking for the success indicators of Pag-IBIG. Our FD is telling me we're running out of time, so what we will do is give a lot of these questions to you.
Okay.
Any of these you want to answer?
The OFW.
Yes.
Yes. 1 out of my 4 housing loan borrowers is an OFW.
As an OFW.
So yes, you can. If you are in a country where there's a concentration of OFWs, we have a desk office in the embassy, or you can go to our website www.pagibigfund.gov.ph. Then MP2, your MP2 has to stay with us for 5 years. Okay, and then you can go to our website for MP2. Either enrollment, and then the process is that you just have to fill out a claim after the 5 years, because that's it's just like a time deposit with us for 5 years. Success indicators, so we're under the GCG, the Governance Commission for GOCCs. So our success indicators would be in our financial, our capability for financial management, for housing loans, and for our provident benefits as well. The provident benefits is that you are able to claim your savings, and we are able to manage it and declare dividends, so that after 20 years of being members, your money still has value.
There are so many questions. Let me throw another one at you from at JB Hart. Pwede po ba kumuha ng home improvement loan kahit wala titulo ang bahay? Paano po ba mag-avail?
Okay. So the home improvement loan, pwedeng mag-home improvement loan, pero there has to be a collateral. So our loans must have a collateral. So hindi siya clean loan. And also, I would like to mention na if for home improvement, gusto mo maglagay ng solar panels, we could also, that could be part of the home improvement loan.
Solar panels, wow. And then this one is, what is the current interest rate of housing for a 5-year payment for a 4M loan? This is from at Hernan Santos 96, direct from the CEO.
Okay, I think for 5 years, it's 7.3%. I think it's 7.3% for 5-year repricing. But you can do a 6.9% for 3-year repricing, and then just the trend is downward, so just have a yearly repricing after the 3 years, so that you can avail of the 6.9%.
So we will pull all of this, and thank you for all the many questions, but I have 5 questions that are not about Pag-IBIG, but about you, your personal life, and they are actually asking, this is one of the most recent ones from at Nono, House Samboy Lim. I know this isn't the proper forum, but we have several of these questions. Are you open to talking about this? Asking, let me tell people about. Well, first, do you want to answer, or should we? This is her personal life, guys.
Okay, but Samboy Lim is really a part of our family. Samboy is still in the ICU.
So for people who don't know, your former husband.
Yes. So we have a daughter, Jamie
Basketball
Christine,
player, yeah.
and we've really been deeply affected as well by what happened to Samboy. So we're very thankful for all the prayers of the people who love, and I really think that please continue to pray, because the heavens cannot not listen to the prayers of the people who love Samboy. So Sam is still in the ICU. We're still waiting for him to wake up. His organs are his other organs are all stable. He's breathing on his own, but the neurologists are telling us that the neurologic condition is uncertain, and we just have to wait and see, and we have to wait for positive signs. So the movements have are progressing. Like in the first week, there was not much movement, but we're really taking it one day at a time, and we really want the Skywalker to be back.
If people want to help in any way, what can they do? Can they do anything to help?
Okay, so
This is from at Dwight Perez. You have your latest news. So if
Okay.
people want to help,
Yes, so Mon Fernandez and Alan Kaidik have a specific, because they're also being approached by people who want to help Samboy. So they ask the family to set up a bank account, and the family family meaning the siblings also of Samboy. He has 4 siblings, and his mom also is part of the family that I'm mentioning. So the whole family agreed that we set up a bank account in the name of Samboy's daughter, so our daughters, Jamie Christine. So I set up a bank account, but because Jamie is still a minor, it is under my name in trust for Jamie Christine Lim. So she's going to be 18 in May of next year. So as soon as she turns 18, it will be under her name. So I want people to have a comfort level on what is the nature of that account, and that account is meant for the medical fund. So that means that there are 2 things that we are raising funds for the hospital bill of Samboy, and number 2 for the continuing care after he is discharged in the hospital. So we have a bank account which I can share with you, and so that the people, if they can also, I know some donors don't want to identify themselves. The family is very thankful for all your generosity, but I hope that if it is okay with you, because the family would also want to send you just a letter of thanks, and so that we could also update you with how we have spent the money, so that you could maybe you'll wonder on where we spent the donated funds.
thank you for the questions. There are many more there. We are out of time. Leland, just your last thoughts in terms of your priorities moving forward for Pag-IBIG.
Okay, next year we will be launching another program, which is the loyalty card. That's also part of our 34th anniversary gift to our members. So it's not the other way around, that the members have to show loyalty, but it's our loyalty to our members. And what is it? In 2014, we've asked private sector companies to become our partners, and some said yes, actually 40 partners have said yes, and they have said yes to giving discounts to Pag-IBIG Fund members. Like SM will have one day where our Pag-IBIG Fund members could get 5% to 10% discounts one day every month. STI, so we went to educational institutions and health related. STI is giving 12% discount for tuition fee for Pag-IBIG Fund members. Pfizer is giving up to 50% discount. So for example, anti-hypertension medicine, they will give up to 50% discount. The generics pharmacies also partner, so they're already cheap, but they're giving an additional 5%. Petron is also a partner, so we have 10 peso discount for every 11 kilogram of gasol. And points for the
How do
fuel.
people find out about all of this?
Okay, so we are going to deploy it in the first quarter of next year. So we've just piloted the program in Cebu, Davao, and Baguio, so that operationally we wanted to already learn what are the operational glitches, so that we have scheduled to deploy it in the first quarter of next year. So so that we will add value to their membership, and in the hope that membership to Pag-IBIG Fund becomes aspirational and we don't have to mandate them and they don't feel bad about contributing the 100 pesos every month. So that's our goal for the loyalty program.
Fantastic. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you very
speaking
much.
Us. We've been speaking with attorney Lelen Berberabe about Pag-IBIG, about the Pag-IBIG Fund, its housing and loan mandate, and the savings mandate. I'm Maria Ressa. Thank you for watching.